As you can see, developed regions dominate the planet, with humans occupying over 75% of the land outside the ice sheets. These areas are constantly monitored by satellite cameras, creating the impression that no corner of the Earth remains untouched. But that's not entirely true. Even in the 21st century, some places remain hidden, either shielded by nature or intentionally concealed. Some of these locations have never been mapped, while others were left out intentionally or haven't yet appeared on official maps. Consider, for instance, Sandy Island, a supposed landmass between Australia and New Caledonia. First charted in the 1770s by James Cook, modern searches have failed to locate it. Researchers concluded it never existed. Interestingly, Sandy Island appeared on Google Maps until November 26, 2012, when it was finally removed. However, a satellite image from 2009 still shows its supposed location. We've compiled a list of fascinating unmapped places on the planet. If you enjoy exploring such mysteries, remember to like this video to support our channel and help the YouTube algorithm suggest more intriguing content. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an update. Rebirth Island. One fascinating hidden corner of the world is Rebirth Island, located in the southwestern part of the Aral Sea. Once an uncharted place, the sea's gradual shrinking has transformed the island into a peninsula. In its prime, vast herds of saiga antelopes grazed there, and its bays were abundant with fish. However, everything changed in 1954 when the island became home to Aros 7, a secret military base. This facility housed military personnel, researchers, security staff, and their families. The base remained off the maps and was abandoned in the early 1990s after the collapse of the USSR. Today, remnants like ammunition, shell casings, and ballistic tips still litter the area, offering eerie glimpses into its past. Now let's travel to a place where no human has ever set foot, Mount Gangar Pensum. Mount Gangar Pensum, located between China and Bhutan. Rising to a height of 7,570 meters, 24,836 feet, this white peak of the Three Spiritual Brothers is the highest unclimbed mountain in the world and the 40th tallest globally. Despite numerous attempts, no climber has ever reached its summit, a surprising fact given that most Himalayan peaks were conquered decades ago. A long-standing border dispute complicates its ownership. Chinese maps place the peak on the border, while other sources locate it entirely within Bhutan. The mountain was first measured and mapped in 1922, but inaccuracies in mapping caused confusion for decades. Early expeditions struggled even to locate it. Bhutan's spiritual traditions also played a significant role. The peaks were believed to be the dwelling places of spirits, and the country barred mountaineering above 6,000 meters, 19,685 feet, in 1994. By 2004, Bhutan had completely banned climbing altogether. In 1998, a Japanese expedition obtained permission from the Chinese Mountaineering Association to climb the peak from Tibet. However, due to the ongoing border dispute, the permits were revoked. Bhutan itself has shown little interest in surveying the mountain, ensuring that it remains one of the most enigmatic and untouched peaks in the world. These hidden places remind us of how much there is still to discover or preserve on Earth. Stay tuned as we explore even more remarkable corners of our planet in the next segment, the hidden world of Mount Lico. In 2012, environmental scientist Dr. Julian Bayliss made an extraordinary discovery using satellite images. He identified a peculiar green spot in northern Mozambique, which turned out to be an untouched tropical forest hidden within a cratered mountain, Mount Lico. This volcano-like formation, with its sheer crater walls rising up to 700 meters, concealed a pristine ecosystem that had never been explored by humans. 5 years later, Dr. Bayliss assembled a team of scientists, naturalists, and researchers to investigate. Upon arriving in Mozambique, they consulted local communities who confirmed that no one had ever scaled Mount Lico. Using satellite imagery to plan their route, the team prepared for the challenging ascent, bringing along a drone to capture detailed views of the mountain's hidden interior. The drone provided the first glimpse of the lush forest nestled within the crater, revealing a hidden world untouched by human presence. When the team began their arduous climb using specialized equipment, they were rewarded with incredible discoveries. The dense forest was teeming with vines, lianas, and a multitude of previously unknown species. Among their findings were a new species of butterfly, an unidentified amphibian, a freshwater crab, and several never-before-seen small mammals and reptiles. Adding to the mystery, the team found upturned pots near the source of a stream at the crater's summit. These were likely spiritual offerings from a local medicine man, meant to ensure the flow of water to nearby settlements. The sheer difficulty of the climb, requiring modern equipment, makes it astonishing that someone might have reached the summit in the past. Mount Lico is an example of an Inselberg, or island mountain, a geological formation created as surrounding plateaus erode, leaving behind more resistant materials like granite. Over time, these formations rise dramatically above the surrounding lowlands, influencing local weather patterns. As warm air from the lowlands ascends, it cools, forming clouds and generating rain. These rain-making mountains are critical water sources for the surrounding regions. Local communities often hold them in spiritual regard, leaving offerings to honor their role in sustaining life. The pots found on Mount Lico align with this tradition, symbolizing a connection between the mountain and the communities it supports. Mount Lico's untouched ecosystem and cultural significance underscore the importance of preserving such hidden corners of the Earth. Next, we explore another blank spot on the map, uncovering more of the planet's hidden treasures. Lake Vostok. Lake Vostok, located beneath the Antarctic ice sheet at the southern pole of cold, the coldest recorded region on Earth, is a hidden marvel of nature. Found 3,488 meters, 11,444 feet beneath the Russian Vostok Research Station, this subglacial lake is roughly the size of Lake Ontario, making it the largest subglacial lake in the world. The water in Lake Vostok is estimated to have an average temperature of -3 degrees Celsius, 27 degrees Fahrenheit, but remains liquid due to the immense pressure from the overlying ice and geothermal heat from the Earth's interior. This heat warms the lake's bottom, while the thick ice sheet above acts as insulation from the freezing temperatures on the surface. Scientists believe the lake has been sealed off by ice for approximately 15 million years. Biologists hypothesize that Lake Vostok may harbor microorganisms that entered during its formation and subsequently adapted to its extreme nutrient-scarce conditions. If true, these organisms would have evolved in isolation over millions of years, potentially resulting in unique life forms. This prospect has driven plans to explore Lake Vostok and other Antarctic subglacial lakes further. However, researchers must first understand the ice above the lake, as well as the rocks and sediments beneath it. The existence of subglacial lakes in Antarctica was first theorized by geographer Andrei Kapitsa. His hypothesis was later supported by radar surveys and studies conducted in the mid-20th century. In 1959, pilot Ray D. Robinson observed flat, smooth ice surfaces above suspected lakes, suggesting their presence. By 1967, glaciologist Igor Zotikov had written a PhD thesis on the immense pressure of the ice sheet, which could turn its lower layers into liquid water. Over the following decades, more probing and research culminated in the International Conference on Lake Vostok in Cambridge in 1994. Lake Vostok is unlikely to harbor fish or large creatures. Instead, it is presumed to be home to bacteria and other microorganisms. In 2012, a Russian research team drilled through the ice to collect water samples, carefully navigating the challenge of contamination. Traditional drilling methods risk introducing kerosene, used to lubricate the drill, into the pristine lake. The team's efforts revealed previously unknown bacteria, potentially unique to Lake Vostok. These findings have sparked global scientific interest, with samples sent to various research facilities, including in France for further study. The task of sampling water from Lake Vostok remains complex. Scientists continue to explore contamination-free techniques such as using hot water drilling. The discovery of bacteria confirms the lake's scientific importance and underscores the need for careful preservation. Now, let's journey 1,700 kilometers, 1,100 miles, away from Antarctica to an island where 93% of the landscape is cloaked in glaciers, Bouvet Island. Bouvet Island, located in the South Atlantic at the southernmost tip of the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, is the most remote island in the world, so isolated it barely appears on most maps. The nearest inhabited land is Tristan da Cunha, a British overseas territory, 2,253 kilometers, 1,400 miles to the north. Bouvet Island is an uninhabited nature reserve administered by Norway, spanning 49 square kilometers, 19 square miles. At its center lies an ice-filled crater of an extinct volcano. Discovered in 1739 by French explorer Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Lozier, the island wasn't actually reached until 1808, when British sailors came across it and named it Lindsay Island. In 1825, the British Crown claimed it as Liverpool Island, but a Norwegian expedition landed there in 1927, claiming it for Norway. By 1930, after resolving disputes with the United Kingdom, Norway officially declared Bouvet Island as part of its territory. Despite its remoteness, Bouvet Island has an intriguing mystery. In 1964, an abandoned lifeboat was discovered on its shores, with no sign of any crew. The origins of the boat remain unknown, sparking the imagination of writers and filmmakers. The island has been featured in 3 books and was even the setting for the 2004 movie Alien vs. Predator, though the cinematic version of the island bore little resemblance to the real Bouvet Island. The island's rugged landscape is primarily ice-covered, with the northwestern part being the most accessible and housing a weather station. Its shores and waters teem with wildlife, including fur seals, orcas, humpback whales, and penguins. Among the penguin inhabitants are over 4,500 macaroni penguins, easily recognized by their bright orange crests, and about 400 chinstrap penguins. These migratory birds thrive on the island's rocky slopes, which provide an ideal breeding ground. Human access to Bouvet Island is nearly impossible due to its challenging terrain. Glaciers block the southern and eastern coasts, while steep cliffs as high as 490 meters, 1,607 feet, hinder landings on the northwest and southwest sides. With no natural harbors, helicopters are the most practical way to reach the island. Bouvet Island represents a unique opportunity to witness a place virtually untouched by human infrastructure, a rarity in the modern world. Its isolation offers a glimpse into an environment that remains wild and pristine, an escape from the complexities of everyday life. Yet its inaccessibility ensures it remains one of Earth's most enigmatic and least visited places. But now, let's consider a place that exists in a paradoxical state. It is real, yet it seems not to exist. How can such a place be? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. In the vast expanse of the North Pacific lies a massive and alarming phenomenon, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Though invisible on maps, this vast expanse of marine debris spans an area 3 times the size of France, stretching from the west coast of North America to Japan. It consists of 2 primary zones, the Western Garbage Patch near Japan and the Eastern Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California, connected by a transitional area where warm southern waters meet the cooler Arctic currents, creating a conveyor belt for trash. Unlike what many might imagine, the patch isn't a solid mass of floating trash. Instead, it's a swirling mix of microplastics, tiny, often invisible plastic fragments, along with larger items like fishing nets and discarded shoes. This soup-like mixture isn't detectable in satellite images, but its presence muddies the waters, creating a visual haze. Microplastics are especially insidious because they don't biodegrade but instead break into smaller and smaller pieces, persisting in the marine environment for centuries. The problem extends far deeper than the surface. Recent research shows that around 70% of marine debris sinks to the ocean floor, creating an invisible underwater layer of pollution beneath the patch. Measuring the volume of this waste is an enormous challenge, as much of the trash is submerged, ranging from centimeters to meters below the surface. Estimates suggest that 80% of ocean plastic originates from land-based sources, such as rivers and coastlines, while the remaining 20% comes from maritime activities like fishing and shipping. Alarmingly, synthetic fishing nets, alone, account for nearly half the mass of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. This pollution wreaks havoc on marine life. Turtles, albatrosses, seals, and other animals often become entangled in nets or ingest plastic, mistaking it for food, leading to injury or death. In 2018, a creative initiative sought to bring global attention to this crisis. The publisher Lad Bible, in collaboration with the Plastic Oceans Foundation, proposed founding a state on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, complete with its own citizens, passports, and currency. Dubbed Garbage Island, the initiative aimed to highlight the issue through humor and satire. Surprisingly, it gained significant traction, attracting over 200,000 citizens, including celebrities like Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo. While this tongue-in-cheek campaign wasn't a practical solution, it succeeded in raising awareness of the problem. Addressing the Great Pacific Garbage Patch will require concerted global efforts, innovative cleanup technologies, and a commitment to reducing plastic production and consumption to prevent further damage to our oceans. Rabbit Island. Okunoshima, or unofficially Rabbit Island, is a curious and charming destination in Japan's inland sea. Just over 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles in circumference, it can be explored in about an hour and a half on foot. Famous for its population of wild European rabbits, the island has become a tourist hotspot, attracting visitors eager to interact with its furry residents. However, Okunoshima's history is far darker than its idyllic reputation suggests. The island gained worldwide attention in 2014 when a video of a woman being enthusiastically surrounded by rabbits went viral. This surge in popularity caused visitor numbers to soar from 136,000 in 2005 to over 254,000 in 2015. Unfortunately, this fame has come at a cost. The influx of tourists has disrupted the island's fragile ecosystem, and the dietary habits of its rabbit population have been significantly affected. The origin of the rabbits remains a mystery. Some believe they were introduced by a British couple or released by a nearby school in 1971. In 2007, the rabbit population was estimated at around 300, but has since grown to between 700 and 1,000. These rabbits primarily feed on leaves, roots, wood, and seeds, but tourists often bring carrots, lettuce, and cabbage as treats, unaware that such foods are hard for the rabbits to digest. Despite signs urging visitors not to feed, pick up, or chase the animals, many rabbits now congregate near the island's hotel, awaiting food and water. Okunoshima's darker history reveals why the island was once erased from maps. During World War II, it was used for chemical weapons testing. Residual toxins from that era have left the groundwater unsafe, forcing the rabbits to rely on bottled water provided by caretakers. Although the island has not undergone large-scale decontamination, it continues to attract visitors charmed by its unusual inhabitants. While Okunoshima offers a unique experience, it also serves as a reminder of the environmental impact of human activity and the responsibility to protect fragile ecosystems. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex. The Cheyenne Mountain Complex, prominently featured in Hollywood classics like War Games and Stargate, is a high-security underground bunker located in Colorado, USA. Built during the late 1950s at the height of the Cold War, it was designed to protect against potential Soviet long-range bombers. Today, it remains one of the most secure facilities in the world, showcasing advanced engineering and defense systems. Buried beneath 600 meters, 2,000 feet, of solid granite, the complex spans an area of 2 hectares, 20,000 square meters. It consists of 6 massive tunnels, each 3 stories high, and 15 independent buildings mounted on shock-absorbing springs, ensuring protection against seismic shocks and nuclear explosions. The facility's entrance is secured by 2 colossal blast doors, each 1 meter, 3.5 feet thick, and weighing over 20 tons. These doors, which can seal the facility in just 45 seconds during emergencies, are designed to withstand a 30-megaton nuclear blast as close as 2 kilometers, 1.24 miles, twice the power of the United States' most powerful nuclear test, Castle Bravo. The complex includes advanced air filtration systems capable of neutralizing airborne biochemical, radiological, and nuclear contaminants. Inside, the Air Operations Center maintains constant surveillance of North American airspace, monitoring over 2.5 million flights annually to prevent unauthorized aircraft from entering. The Ballistic Missile Defense Center tracks missile launches globally to assess potential threats to North America. Meanwhile, the Space Defense Operations Center monitors over 8,000 objects in orbit, including satellites, rocket debris, and other materials. Upgraded in 2003-2004 at a cost of $13 million, the command center remains a cutting-edge hub of military operations. Since 2008, the complex has primarily served as a backup command center and a training facility for the U.S. Air Force. Cheyenne Mountain's unparalleled defenses and advanced monitoring capabilities make it one of the safest and most secure places on Earth. But if you think this facility is secretive, imagine an entire country operating under a shroud of mystery. Let's explore that next. North Korea. North Korea is widely regarded as the most closed-off state in the world. Information about the country on Google Maps is extremely limited, making it seem like a shadowy and isolated place. For its citizens, living in such a restricted environment, cut off from much of the outside world, is a daily reality. Among the many secrets within North Korea, there is one place that you won't find on any map: Room 39. Room 39, also known as Central Committee Bureau 39 of the Workers' Party of Korea, is a highly secretive organization founded by Kim Jong-il in the late 1970s. It is rumored to be the most powerful and mysterious of the country's three major secret services. The name Room 39 comes from the fact that it was originally located in a large office space on the third floor, where Kim Jong-il had his own office. This floor also housed the other two offices, Office 35, which handled intelligence, and Office 38, responsible for the legal and financial activities of the party. Together, these services became known as the third floor. Room 39's operations are shrouded in secrecy, and it is believed to generate enormous revenue through illegal activities. Estimates suggest it makes between $500 million to $1 billion annually by engaging in counterfeiting, including the production of fake $100 bills, international insurance fraud, and the manufacturing of controlled substances. The organization is also said to be involved in a range of other illicit ventures, such as selling goods made in North Korea but labeled as Chinese, marketing artificial eyelashes, eyebrows and beards, and engaging in underhanded oil deals through Singaporean middlemen. Room 39 is so secretive that little is known about its leadership, including the name of its head. However, there have been rumors that the organization was once led by a former classmate of Kim Jong-il. Despite its shady dealings, the North Korean government ensures that the activities of Room 39 remain unknown to both its citizens and outsiders. Room 39 has captured the imagination of pop culture as well. It appeared in the 2005 video game Mercenaries: Playground of Destruction and in the 5th season of the British-American TV series Strike Back Legacy, where the organization's sinister activities are explored. Despite the fictional depictions, the real-life operations of Room 39 remain one of North Korea's most closely guarded secrets. Now, we arrive at the final object of our journey through places that are so hidden they can't even be found on the map. This last place is truly one of a kind in its elusiveness. The mystery of Null Island. In the international waters of the Atlantic Ocean, about 600 kilometers (370 miles) off the coast of West Africa in the Gulf of Guinea, there exists a peculiar spot on the map that isn't quite what it seems. On many maps, there is an island located at this point. However, when you look closer, there's no land to be found, only a buoy. This buoy, called Soul, serves an important though simple purpose. It measures various environmental data such as wind speed and direction, air temperature, precipitation, humidity, solar radiation, and even ocean temperature up to 500 meters, 1,640 feet below the surface. The buoy is part of a system of 17 buoys placed in the tropical Atlantic Ocean and is known as Null Island, a term that is both literal and humorous to geographers. The name Null Island refers to its location at the intersection of the equator and the zero meridian, coordinates 0 degree N, 0 degree E. This unique spot has become something of a cartographer's joke. The buoy itself, which measures 3.8 meters, 12 feet high, has been floating there since 1998, attached to the seabed almost 5,000 meters, 16,400 feet below. The nearest land is a small island off the coast of Ghana, 570 kilometers, 354 miles to the north. The existence of Null Island became known to many in an unexpected way. Geocoding programs, which convert physical addresses into geographic coordinates, sometimes produce errors. When these errors occur, the program might generate coordinates of 0.0 for both latitude and longitude, leading to the identification of Null Island. For a time, only geographers were aware of it, but the island became famous after the fitness app Strava detected unusual activity at the coordinates for Null Island. Strava users, perhaps unknowingly, entered the coordinates to hide their location, which resulted in a spike in recorded activities like running or cycling, creating the illusion that there were people on the island. This anomaly led to speculation about a secret military base, possibly American or Chinese. In reality, it was simply the result of people entering the coordinates as a workaround in the app. The island's fame grew to the point where a local African company began offering tours to Null Island, but instead of finding an actual island, tourists were taken to see the weather buoy. This quirky place even had its own website, flag, and a fictional history, with geographers humorously designating it as the Republic of Null Island. In the world, there are still many mysterious places that either haven't left a trace on the map or have been deliberately hidden from view. The reasons behind these concealed locations remain a subject of intrigue, waiting to be uncovered. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please let us know by clicking the like button, do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.